For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. How's it going today? I can't believe we're looking at mid-July already. It's crazy to think, isn't it? And now here's the deal. When I was in school, and I was a bit of a nerd, I always thought that 2 months of summer vacation was too much. And it's not even that we had time away from our parents, because my mom's a teacher, so she was home with us at the same time. Maybe that's actually why I didn't care for it, but it just seems like... It seemed like when school was done, everybody's looking forward to that 2 months. You just can do nothing. You can sleep in every day, and as a kid, you appreciate that. And yeah, after like week 1 or so, I was bored, and I wanted to go back. Now, it's funny, though, because my mom is actually the same way. I've got to tell you this. Years ago, when I was working from home at my own house, she would call me like every day when she was off, and I just thought... Like, I'm working at home. Like, I was an entrepreneur. I was doing my own thing. And even she was incredibly bored. Now, she's been a teacher for 20-some years. And thankfully, now my dad's retired. So this is actually the first summer where, as far as I know, they're going out to the lake. They're going to the cottage quite frequently for the next, whatever is left for summer vacation. I guess school starts at the beginning of September, I think. So it's great. Now she's got something to do with my dad. And, I didn't care for it. Now, here's the deal, though. When it comes to 2 months off at school, especially when you're in high school, right? They always tell you that high school is preparing you for adulthood and getting ready to be a responsible grown-up. And the real world, though, when you have a job, you don't get months and months off when you first start to work, right? You're lucky if you get 3 weeks. I guess in some places it's mandatory to get 2 weeks of holidays. But 3 weeks is a treat for some people, and then depending on how long you've worked at the place, you might have 4 weeks or 5 weeks, and you accumulate more as you stick it out there. So I don't know that 2 weeks off, or 2 months off for high school students is appropriate. If you're wanting to be groomed for the real world, and in my high school they were doing that, here's what they did. If you were running late to class, and even if you were, and I'm telling you, if you were 5 seconds late walking through that doorway, you got detention, and you were not allowed to go to that class until you served detention. Now, that had to be either after school that day or first thing in the morning the next day, right? So either the end of the school day or the beginning of the next school day. And now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, hey, I got a way out. I don't have to go to class tomorrow either. Yeah. But there was something that was just, sort of threatening about it. And I don't know if kids would have that same sort of reaction or response to that rule today, because now it's just such a rebellious society where they'll be just like, screw it. Well, then I'm just going to go and skip class for the next couple days and I don't have to go to school. Well, maybe. And again, because my mom's a teacher, I was deathly afraid that my high school teachers would be calling my mom. She's in elementary school, so it's not like she was at that school, but still she knew everybody. It was the same school division and same district and everything. But yeah, I just think that it just didn't groom you. If you're wanting to do that, I appreciate what they were doing in terms of the lateness and being on time, because for your job, obviously, you have to be prompt and professional and things like that. But I think when it comes to the school vacation schedule, it's almost 3 months off between Christmas break, summer vacation, all the days off for school, whatever they call them, administration days or whatever they are. And it was probably more than 3 weeks. It's probably close to a month then that you get off throughout the school year. So, and it's funny too, because there's some parents that I know who it actually ends up having to cost them more when the kids are off school because they've got to go to a daycare, right? Or have a babysitter or something like that. So there's probably parents that even say, Well, no, I don't want my kid home all day. It's just, whatever. Actually, I'd like to hear from you. Send me an email. live@jbonair.com. Live@jbonair.com if you are a parent and you think that summer vacation should not be 2 months. That is just an incredibly long time. And unless the kids are learning, because I've also heard this, and I think I've told this story on the show a while back, that I was at a community event. I was calling bingo. And it was there was a kids thing going on, and there were parents on the sidelines. And one of the kids, it was, I don't remember what the number was. It was he ended up flipping the numbers around. So let's say it was 56, and he would look at 65 and think that was 56. So every time I would say 56, he would cover 65. And the girl beside him, she was younger, I think, and she would laugh, and like she was making fun of him that he got the number wrong. And of course you've got moms and dads sitting on the sidelines chatting with each other, playing on their phones for the most part, and you have the one mom of the boy who doesn't know the number. You've got the mom saying something to the effect of like, oh well, it's our great school system. Wait a second, hold on here, mother of the year. That is your child. You kind of also have to take some responsibility for educating your own kid, I would think. It's no different. I've got 2 dogs. I've had them since they were puppies. It is up to me to train them and to teach them right from wrong. Yes, I could send them to obedience school or a trainer or classes and all those things, but at the end of the day, it is my responsibility because they are mine. So, and I hate kids, let me be honest with you, and there's a part of me that actually wants to challenge parents like that, but then I always just, it's not worth it because it's going to be like, well, you don't have kids. Well, you know what? I don't have kids, but here's the deal, is that it's no different than you giving somebody relationship advice because you can see it from the outside perspective as they can't because they're in the relationship. And so for me, I would love to just even have parents on this show and just have a conversation and go, why do you feel that it's only up to the school to educate your kids? Why is it your kid not knowing the numbers is a reflection on the school division and the education system? Is it not a reflection of the parenting? I know that when I was growing up, and again, I don't even think it was because my mom was a teacher. I was actually about to say that. I was about to say it's because my mom's a teacher that I learned all those things, and I wasn't behind in class. I was actually one of the top students. I was an ass kisser, really. And I think we just had books. And as far as I can remember, when I went to my grandparents' place, when I went to my aunts and uncles, I've got a lot of cousins in my family, and I'm the youngest of that generation. So, when I was 5, they would have been anywhere between 7 and, I guess, teenagers, really. And so they had toys, they had books, they had all those things. And so it wasn't uncommon for us to go to a family get-together. Keep in mind, we didn't have cell phones and things like that. And even when we had video games, I'm going to tell you, when we had video games at our own house, when my cousins would come over, we did not spend time playing video games with them when they were over. We were outside running around. We weren't sitting around reading books, as a group, but certainly we weren't held back in terms of learning. And I knew how to spell all of my family members' names. I knew how old they were. I was writing things when I was in nursery school, which I guess would make me, how old are you when you're in nursery? 4 or 5 years old anyway. And I liked learning. I thrived on that. Like, it was just, that's what was fun to me. And again, like I said, I didn't want the 2 months off. I wanted to learn. I was also obsessed with Wheel of Fortune. Here's the deal, is that's actually really how I learned how to spell and different phrases and things. I remember using the term, my teacher when I was in nursery asked me where my brother was, or I guess my mom had mentioned that my brother was sick. And I said, yeah, he's under the weather. And the teacher looked at me. It was just like, the phrase under the weather? Like, you're 4 or 5 years old. Like, that's crazy. I learned it from Wheel of Fortune. I'm telling you. And when you think about it, it's a good educational game too, because it's a guessing game. You're learning how to spell. It's like a puzzle. And that's what I watched as a kid. I was obsessed with Wheel of Fortune. Now, it wasn't Jeopardy, so I wasn't a genius kid, but certainly I learned a lot. I was watching TV, yes, but at the same time, I'm learning how to spell. We watched Sesame Street. That was our big thing. Mr. Rogers. We learned from those shows. So Anyway, I would love to know your thoughts on this. That was a nice, almost 10-minute rant. Live at jbonair.com is my email address. I'm going to ramble on about some more stuff right after this on the Scribble.
Airfares go up and down more than planes themselves. Pricearazzi.travel has you covered when flight prices change on Expedia.com. If the prices drop, you'll be sure to know about it. There's already so much to remember when you travel, and you shouldn't have to worry about paying more than you needed to on your flights. Let Pricearazzi.travel keep an eye on that for you. Your biggest concern should be if you've packed enough money to buy all the trinkets you really don't need, or if your swimsuit shows off enough skin in all the right places, or that while you were away, the kids have enough food in the kennel and that the dogs get to school on time. Wait, flip those last two. Simply register your email address with Pricearazzi.travel and then book your flights on Expedia.com. Your itineraries are automatically sent to Pricearazzi, and you could do your happy dance if the flight becomes cheaper in 24 hours. Better yet, you could actually end up flying for free. And who doesn't love free, right? Find out how to save on your Expedia flights at Pricearazzi.travel. Avoid bank account turbulence and sign up now at Pricearazzi.travel.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
Jeremy Bradley here on The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in at thescribbleshow.com and on SoundCloud and iTunes. You know, in that last segment I was mentioning about parenting and their attentiveness when the kids were playing bingo and the mom and dad is sitting on the sideline either talking with friends or glued to their cell phone. And there's a part of me, and I've gone on this rant before in my newspaper column and to other people and on social media, is I believe that parents are exploiting their kids on social media, and it doesn't take long for you to see that. If you go to your own Facebook page and you see your friends and family members, any kid, and honestly, I'm going to say, any parent that's on social media, there's a 98, 99% chance they have documented their kid's life from the minute they were born. So any kid, let's say my friend has a 5-year-old kid, and they probably made the announcement on Facebook or on social media. They probably posted pictures of the gifts. They probably posted a picture on social media within minutes of the birth, if everything was fine during the delivery, and then the firsts of everything, and the cute messes they make when they're eating, and the first Halloween costume, and the first Christmas, and you know what I'm talking about. I don't have to paint the picture. You know that parents are doing this. And it's no different than when I got my dogs, right? There's tons of dogs on my Facebook page. The difference is, dogs and children, it's just not the same thing. And so when you think about it, people are exploiting their kids. You haven't asked them their permission, but as their parent or guardian, you have the legal responsibility. You can make those decisions, and that's fine. But are you doing it smartly? There we go. It's a great word. Smartly. And I put something on Facebook as a comment one day, something about, hey, parents, remember to exploit your kids this Halloween and give perverts like Jared Fogle something to jerk it to when they're, whatever. And a couple people actually sort of fired back and were like, well, excuse me, Mr. Parent, that, they lock down their account so that pictures are only available to their friends or whatever it is. But here's the deal. Facebook and all that shows me that you liked a picture or that you commented on a picture. Whether I'm that person's friend or not, I can still see that. So there's nothing stopping me from clicking that picture, saving it, whether I'm your friend or not. So I don't understand the logic. And again, it's a public platform. If you wanted to share it, then you could email it to people or text it to people, but you're putting it on a public platform. That's one thing. And secondly, wait until the kid is old enough before you start to do that, because that's where you can explain to them and say, hey, do you mind that I'm going to put a picture of you sitting in the bathtub and share that with a bunch of strangers on the internet, friends in quotation marks. And I said years ago that it wouldn't take long before we start to see teenagers, a disgruntled teenager, right, those rebellious teenagers, sue their parents for invasion of privacy, humiliation, emotional distress, all those kinds of things. And I'm sure, I haven't looked on the internet, but I'm sure there's cases of that now where these kids are coming of age, where they're sitting there going, you know what, I have people coming up to me or saying, oh, well, your mom posted pictures of blah, 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 and now I'm being, teased or bullied at school. I guarantee you it's happening somewhere in the world. And I thought that would be a great career. I could get into law and just solicit a bunch of teenagers who want to sue their parents. Why not? But it really is, I would think, an invasion of privacy. Now, naturally, parents don't see it that way, which is why people were lashing out at me. But I just think, you need to be mindful of what you're doing. And I think that consciously parents do realize it. But again, they're wanting the attention. They're wanting to have the spotlight on their kids and show that their kids are the smartest and the prettiest and whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It is just strange. Oh, I would love to hear your thoughts on this one as well. Live at jbonair.com. Live at jbonair.com. Are parents exploiting their kids? Are they saying, hey, little Joey, mommy's taking this picture and she's going to put it on the computer. And when she puts it on the computer, a whole bunch of her friends are going to be able to see it. Joey, is that okay with you? What percentage of the parental demographic population do you think is doing that? Do you think is sitting down little Joey at 7 years old? Now, chances are he's already got an iPhone, an iPad, whatever it is, and knows how to take pictures with it, because I know my nephews do that. Do they know how to upload things to social media? I don't believe so, because I don't think they're on it. But they certainly do know how to work the camera. They know how to work the iPad. They know how to work the iPhone. So that's a great opportunity. Before you've even taught them how to use technology like that, explain to them. And at the same time, I don't think that an 8-year-old is fully immersed in the whole selfie exploitation of shirtless, half-naked pictures in the mirror like teenagers are doing nowadays. But that's also a great opportunity to go and say, and here's the deal, is that if you take pictures of yourself, and someday when you're old enough, you can put them on social media as well, you need to be responsible about what you're doing. And it's a great learning tool at that point to go and say, hey, you should be careful about what you're posting. And it's not even about, well, when you're looking for a job, your employer might see this stuff, and or you're going to run for political office, and this is going to come back to bite you. Really, so many people are storing pictures in the cloud. I don't have a cloud. They wanted to switch our email over to a cloud, and I'm like, what is that? And they said, well, it's going to be just kind of out in cyberspace. I'm like, no, that's how we're going to get hacked. Not that anybody cares to hack into our computers here, but no, I want things saved on computers in this building, and that's how it's going to work. We don't have anything on clouds that people are all of a sudden just going to go and get access to. So I think that we all know that social media is not going anywhere anytime soon. As kids are growing up, they're exploiting themselves more. But think about it. It started with the parents at home. And the kids probably don't even realize it. That's what I'm saying, is sit down with little Joey, little Sally, whatever the name is, and say, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to take this picture of you. Is it okay if I share this with people? And, chances are they're going to say yeah, but at the same time, give them the opportunity. Give them that choice. It should be up to them. It really should be. Send me your thoughts. Live at jbonair.com. Live at jbonair.com.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on the Scribble. All right, so it's theme day. These stories are segueing one into the other, which I think is great. And I'll be honest with you, I have 4 other stories on here on my list of things to talk about that I haven't even got to, just because one thing is reminding me of another and is reminding me of another. So let's just recap how we started this whole thing, okay? Started talking about school and how there's 2 months off in the summer. I didn't like that. Then we start talking about how parents are relying heavily on schools to teach the kids. There is a bit of a responsibility for parents to do that at home on their own. From there, we started talking about social media and how parents are exploiting their kids on social media, and I believe should give them an opportunity, give them an explanation as to what mommy's doing with these pictures that she's taking of you. And I just don't even get the whole social media thing about sharing like every detail about your life. And I've gone on the record and I've said that several times on this show before. I have only very recently ever posted a picture of my mom and me or my dad and me, but here's the deal, it's because it was something work-related. I took my dad to the Garth Brooks concert for Father's Day, and it was work-related because my job, we got tickets to the show, and it was Garth Brooks people had set us up to go there, so it was kind of a work thing. And my dad was on the radio show, and I surprised him. So it was because of that I posted a picture of my dad on social media. And then same thing with my mom. There was a funny thing on Mother's Day, and I got her on the national news, and so I took a picture of the television and posted that on social media. Otherwise, I have never posted from a family event. I've never posted pictures of selfies from a wedding or a birthday party or anything. And we have a close family and we have lots of get-togethers. I've never tweeted or put anything on Facebook ever from these events before. I just haven't. And it's funny too, because when I first got onto Facebook, my big thing was I don't want people to be able to see who my friends are. And I had this separation of like, these are friends, these are family, strangers don't need to know who I'm friends with, who my family members are. Like I didn't want to know that. And I'm not one of those people who believes I'm a big superstar. My Twitter handle isn't the real or official Jeremy Bradley. I don't believe that I'm a celebrity. I don't think that people care what I'm doing every second of the day. But I just wanted to keep that separation. I just didn't think that it's anybody's business that I'm friends with Tim or Kaylee or whoever. I don't know. And so when it comes to social media, you've seen those relationships where, let's say, the boyfriend or the husband or whoever does something wrong, and then their partner, their spouse, is lashing out just publicly and venting to friends on social media. I would think it's quite humiliating, and I don't do anything like that about my relationships with people. If I'm mad at a friend, I don't go and rip them apart on social media. I might text somebody about it, but nothing is playing out in public. And we saw last week, and then it's played out this week, the Rob Kardashian Black China drama. If you haven't heard that story, he was trying to get back with her, they say, and then he found out that she was cheating, and she says that he was abusive, and then he went and posted pictures of her cooch online, and a bunch of, they were both posting nudie pictures of her. And then she went and said that he's suicidal and has a gun. And again, this is playing out on social media. Rob's Instagram account was apparently shut down. He was telling people to follow him on Twitter because he was just going to start continuing cyberbullying her on there. And it's petty, one. And two, these are parents. And it's sort of like, really, this is how you want this to play out. It's one thing to have a fight in public, and I don't mean a physical fight, because she does say that he was like that, but I'm saying to have an argument or disagreement, whatever. I don't mean physical fight, just a fight in general, having words. So it's one thing to have a fight in the privacy of your own home. It's different for some reason, and I don't get why. Maybe because people are wanting support, maybe they're trying to embarrass their partner by doing this. I don't get it, but it's one thing to have that disagreement and resolve it like mature adults. And I don't know what you get out of it. Now, apparently the Kardashians go and say that they're just concerned about the kid they have together because it's just bad for the kid. Now, again, this coming from a family that has made a business of exploiting themselves. You remember before Kim started having kids, First of all, she even said that Kanye wasn't going to be on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Then there's like episodes devoted to him and his concert tour and his fashion line and everything like that. And then we're seeing the kids more and more. So it's interesting how they say we're not going to do that. We're not going to feature them. And now they do. But whatever. So there's this whole thing about relationships on social media and posting like every little detail. I wrote in my book that's called Put Down Your Damn Phone Already at putdownyourdamnphone.com and on Amazon and iTunes. I wrote in there that I have a family member, a relative, who on her anniversary, I believe it was their first anniversary, or was it Valentine's Day? It was something, I don't recall now, but she was at a hotel with her husband, new husband anyway, newish husband, and is texting or is tweeting pictures of like the flowers that they have or the wine, and then there's a picture of him sitting on the bed holding the remote watching TV, and I'm just like, wow, how do you keep the magic alive, you guys? That is incredible. How do you do it? And to me, it's like you shouldn't even have your phone near you, or if you are and you're just taking selfies, whatever, don't have the signal on that you're going immediately posting it right away. Like, that's just so impersonal. Why would you want to do that? I don't get it. And so that was their big concern was, hey, let's show everybody this run-of-the-mill average hotel room that we're in the same city, by the way. They weren't even on vacation. They were still in the same city. And it was peculiar to me. I didn't get it. I don't understand. So again, are you doing this for status because you want people to be jealous and you want people to go, ooh, he really takes care of you. Ooh, he loves you. Well, okay, great. That's fine. So would love to know your thoughts on this. By the way, I'm actually going to go on another rant about that in a couple weeks when there's time, because yeah, I don't get it. Send me an email, live@jbonair.com. live@jbonair.com. And I mean, even with cell phones, we see this whole, TMZ is notorious for posting videos of, like drunken bar fights and celebrities getting into it. And one of those American Idol contestants has a little bit too much to drink, and her friend is in a chokehold, and she's getting arrested. And we talked about it on our show, Entertainment Wrap-Up. And I enjoy watching those drunken cell phone videos. There's just something about it. Not necessarily fights, but I just like seeing people be a mess. Because it's, I don't know, I don't, that's the one time where people aren't necessarily playing it up for the camera. When you think about it, people know, I think the people realize that somebody is going to be recording you. There's going to be at least one person with a camera filming this. But when you're drunk, I don't think that you're conscious to realize, hey, this is going to make a great video for YouTube. Oh yeah, this is totally going viral. Because that's not what you're thinking about in the moment. When you're having an argument or a fight with somebody, you're focused on them and not the mass of people around you, capturing it all and laughing in the background as you're making a fool of yourself. So it's interesting when these people have these drunken moments and they're lashing out and they're sloppy drunk. And does that make them assess how they behave? Does it make them think, hey, you know what? I had a little bit too much to drink. Or, ooh, that was embarrassing. Maybe. I'm not going to rely that much on my cell phone anymore. And it's not their phone that was capturing the moment. I'm not saying that that's what they were doing with their own phone. But it does kind of make you wonder, like, hey, and if everybody just kind of did that, if everybody just had one night a week where they put down the phone, right? That's why I wrote the book, Put Down Your Damn Phone Already, putdownyourdamnphone.com. If everybody had that, I'm going out for on a night on the town, and I'm leaving my phone at home. I'm going to tell you, I travel quite a bit for work. That is what I absolutely love about my job when I'm traveling, especially back in the day when roaming rates were ridiculous and you had all these long-distance charges and data and whatever, and it was a great excuse to turn off the phone and leave it in the hotel room. When I'm on location and we're taping segments for our radio shows, someone else can have their phone on them. I'm focused about what we're doing in the moment. And there was a long time where I traveled and was so, this is before selfies and camera phones, but I was taking pictures with my digital camera and then rushing back to my hotel, emailing them to everybody and doing all this other stuff, but not living in the moment and appreciating it and enjoying that time right there that I was having. And there were too many times when I was on an airplane coming back that I would scroll through the pictures on the camera or I'd upload them to my computer, whatever it is, and I'd sit there and go, wow, I don't even really remember the beach in Malibu. I don't even remember going on this ride at Disney because I was so focused on staring at it through a camera, and I ruined it for myself. Live at jbonair.com, this is The Scribble.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
We are on Twitter. All that ranting about social media, and that's our last promo, is Twitter. My name is Jeremy Bradley. This is The Scribble. I will talk to you same time, same place next week. Live at jbonair.com is the email address. Bye-bye, everybody.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat,